Just because a supplement is talked about all the time or because it looks like it has some evidence for it doesn't mean that it's something you should be taking. So I've got 11 supplement swaps that will help you lose fat, help you build muscle, but probably make your life a little bit easier as well. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first one. You can replace your Stimulant pre-workout with green tea or yerba mate along with maybe some beta-alanine. I know that sounds a little complex. You're probably like, I'm just gonna use my scoop of pre-workout. And that's totally fine. But most of the evidence surrounding the Stimulant pre-workouts is in two components of it, the caffeine and the beta-alanine. Beta-alanine improves time to exhaustion quite significantly, and caffeine is a huge fat burner and obviously motivates you and gets you going. So if you're trying to save some money, sip on a little bit of yerba mate. There's a lot of evidence that yerba mate can actually improve fatty acid oxidation during your workout, even more so than green tea. Combine that with a little bit of beta-alanine, like 5,000 milligrams of beta-alanine that you can get dirt cheap on Amazon. You'll save yourself probably $50 a month, and you're gonna have a very similar effect. You can replace vitamin C with taurine. Now, vitamin C has a lot of evidence behind it, so I'm not trying to poo-poo it at all, but taurine for an athlete might be significantly better. See, taurine acts as an antioxidant specifically with exercise. So when muscles are being used, there's been literature that is published when you basically do a muscle biopsy after someone's been working out. Concentrations of taurine go to the muscle to neutralize some of the oxidative stress that's occurring, basically to bring it down. So a lot of evidence suggesting that between 1 and 6 grams of taurine could be hugely beneficial for recovery, but also time to exhaustion. So if you're taking vitamin C because you're like, hey, this is gonna help, my recovery, it's gonna be good for the immune system, believe it or not, taurine might be stronger. If you're taking collagen protein, I don't suggest that you stop taking it, but one thing that you could do is add ground beef into your diet more. Ground beef is going to be one of the best natural sources of collagen that we could consume. Why? Because it's the gristle. You're getting the tendons, you're getting all of that, it's all ground up and it's masticated for you. So then you are getting a complete different profile of meat than if you were just choosing a choice cut that didn't have the collagen. So by all means, I think collagen is a good supplement. I think it makes sense. I add it to my coffee, I do this. But if you are on a budget, swapping that collagen out for just replacing one of your meals as ground beef could have a huge impact for you. Your pre-workout / muscle building supplements. So many people spend so much money on muscle building supplements, but also pre-workouts. And I know I already talked about pre-workouts, but the best pre-workout that you can take is actually not a pre-workout at all. The best pre-workout you could take is a daily dose of creatine. That is going to improve your workout performance better than a pre-workout will. It is the most studied ergogenic aid outside of caffeine. And when it comes down to giving you that gusto in the gym, that's exactly what you need. And as far as muscle building is concerned, the evidence is undeniable that it helps support the muscle growth by giving you more energy to lift more and have more internal leverage during your workouts. I put a link down below for a company called Create that has allulose sweetened gummies that have 1.5 grams of creatine monohydrate per gummy, and they're sweetened with allulose. So allulose blocks or occupies the same receptor as sugar, the transporter. So even if there was sugar, it can help kind of negate the negative effects of it. So these gummies are really cool. This way you can low dose your creatine as the day goes on. So you can do what I do, like 1.5 grams morning, 1.5 grams afternoon, and maybe 1.5 grams evening. That way I'm getting a nice consistent amount, so I'm not getting the water retention with it nearly as much, right? So I'm getting all these benefits without the puffiness. That is the way to properly dose creatine rather than taking on a bunch that might make you retain water. So that link is down below, but believe it or not, that is a 50% off discount link. So 50% off Create creatine gummies. They are a sponsor on this channel, and I owe them a lot of thanks for making this content possible. Replace your melatonin with 1/4 to 1/2 cup of tart cherry juice. The evidence is strong on tart cherry juice. It contains melatonin and also contains precursors to melatonin, so it ends up helping you get to sleep. The evidence is strong in sleep onset and overall duration. Subjects that consume tart cherry juice ended up on average getting close to a half an hour more sleep than those that didn't take it. So it has an impact. It's better than the melatonin, and it has some antioxidant properties as well. Additionally, if you can't do the tart cherry juice because you don't want the sugar, good old-fashioned chamomile and lemon balm is hugely beneficial, and it has a sedative-like effect that might just make you feel a little calmer in the first place. Replace your multivitamins with beef. I call beef a multivitamin, and I do because it has almost everything we need. Not everything, it doesn't have the fiber, it doesn't have some of the other things, but it really does have a wide variety of B vitamins. It has our iron, it has our zinc, it has other minerals. It is nature's multivitamin. So you combine this with the ground beef discussion that we had, and you've got a super food. You have got a multivitamin that has collagen properties. That being said, depending on what your diet looks like, it might not be a bad idea to add a good multivitamin in. Just be sure that it's a methylated multivitamin, so you're getting one that can really absorb and be utilized. Next up, let's start replacing our testosterone boosters, our wild yam extract, our tribulus, all this stuff. Let's replace that stuff that really has just a negligible impact with something that actually works. Tongkat Ali, which I've talked about on my channel before. If you want to increase testosterone levels by using a compound that's over the counter, Tongkat Ali works. Huberman's talked about it, Rogan's talked about it, everybody talks about it, I've talked about it. I've talked with Derek from More Plates, More Dates, kind of ad nauseum about it. It is highly effective, and it blows the other stuff out of the water, and it's dirt cheap. Replace your branched chain amino acids with what? Well, I'll tell you. There's a new study that just came out that basically described that branched chain amino acids pretty much do nothing. Why? Because leucine by itself cannot do much. It does not stimulate muscle protein synthesis if there's no other aminos to actually synthesize protein from. So the best one that you could consume was going to be an essential amino acid. That's going to give you your leucine along with the aminos that are essential to build muscle, the ones that you would need to get from the diet. The even better solution would be to have EAAs along with protein. Leucine spikes muscle protein synthesis. So if you have a high amount of leucine spike along with a nice little surplus of protein coming in a complete form, you can significantly increase your muscle protein synthesis. If you're just trying to get a pump, ditch some of the pre-workouts and the NO2 products and stuff like that, and try using some glycerol. Seriously, straight up glycerol. You can get it on Amazon. I know Derek has it from Gorilla Mode. He has a straight glycerol pump product. That's all you need. Glycerol draws water. It's very hydrophilic. So when you consume glycerol, it draws water into the muscle. So you don't get puffy, you actually retain it in the muscle. It's also a great hydration technique. So if you're gonna go out for a long run or a long hike and you're gonna be in the hot sun, having glycerol the day before and hyperhydrating can load you up with water in a very good way so that you don't get dehydrated or don't cramp. But it also gives you the most wicked pumps you've ever experienced. Replace your fish oil with krill oil. And even better yet, replace it with something called Fatty 15. They're not sponsoring this video at all. They are on this channel occasionally, but fish oil oxidizes, and it's hard to tell when it's gonna oxidize. Krill oil is one click up above that because it at least has some antioxidant components to it that stabilize it. Cod liver oil, even better than that. The problem is if you overdo cod liver oil, you get too much vitamin A. So I would recommend krill oil plus cod liver oil instead of just a low quality fish oil that might be having a more negative impact than even helping. And the best one is probably gonna be the fatty 15. This is a particular type of fatty acid, a C15 fat, that stabilizes the mitochondrial membrane and arguably might be more important than omega-3s. It is more expensive, but I would be doing a disservice if I wasn't telling the truth that fatty 15 might be a better choice. Finally, even though this isn't a supplement, people treat it as such, try replacing alcohol with kava. There are companies like True Kava. You could get it at the store, you can get it at Sprouts, you can get it online. Kava is used in the South Pacific Islands as a form of almost sedative and sort of, how do I put this, socializing drink. Because you get the benefits of alcohol without the impairment. You feel good, you feel loose, you feel relaxed, but you're not impaired. And it doesn't have the negative effect like alcohol does. As always, keep it locked in on my channel. See you tomorrow.